Hey guys, how's it going? Dr. EG3 here, your coach, your mentor, your friend. Welcome to What I'm Up To Wednesday, where I get the opportunity to share the things that I'm working on, the things that I believe I'm struggling with, and the areas that I think that I'm successful. The goal is to have more wins than struggles, but we all know and acknowledge that struggle is a part of the process. So therefore, we need to make sure that our wins are just that much more impactful. Now, again, a part of this is just to rip back the layer of success, the images and false imagery that's out there, and share with you my journey, and hopefully we can learn together along the way. If there's ever a topic or a thing that you want to know about, you, yourself, or someone you may share this video with, comment down below, let me know, send me a message so maybe we can talk through that further. Now, for this What I'm Up To Wednesday, first, I want to acknowledge and just publicly say, I want to apologize to my mom because I didn't realize this as I was growing up, as I was a kid, but I want to tell her I'm sorry just for that, me eating so much, eating her out of house and home, being a growing young boy. I didn't recognize that this was an issue until I had my own kids. Because again, these two that I have, man, they are snacking all the time. They always want something to eat. They want breakfast. As a healthcare professional, we talk about how nutrition and healthy eating habits is about having 3 main meals and 2 snacks. I can tell you, these girls, they do that. They have 3 main meals, 2 snacks. It feels like they're always eating. It feels like it's always a part of the schedule. And I guess what I didn't realize is that, our kids are kind of in this like crummy, cracker crumb stage where it always feels like I'm always sweeping, always wiping counters up. So again, I just want to say to the world, my mom's not on social media or on the internet, but I just want to say publicly, let all you guys know that I want to apologize to my mom just for eating her out of house and home, and I feel her pain. I feel like I need to go to work just to make sure that I have snacks and have food available to the girls. So again, Mom, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I know not the trouble I caused, and again, I'm sorry. If I can pay you back anyway, again, I apologize. I'm sorry. But wanted to chat through this week's What I'm Up To Wednesday as well, and it's more about like a conversation that I had that's caused me to be even more reflective. And I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine, and he was kind of telling me about his journey, and he kept mentioning that he had kind of been listening to these podcasts and were reading these self-developmental books, and really he kind of shared. He wasn't reading anything, he was actually listening to audiobooks. So obviously if that works for him, it's perfectly fine, no judgment on me. Now, he didn't share the podcast, he didn't share the names of the books, but he was saying how, he was trying to work on becoming a better person and was thinking about how the steps that he can take to, become happy and find himself, to move towards a better place where he can have a better acceptance of not just ultimately who he is, but a journey. But he said something that was very interesting to me, and he said that he wants to work to get to a place where he has impenetrable happiness, where that irrespective of what's going on with him, what's going on around him, that he would be able to have like happiness throughout it all. And through our conversation, I kind of mentioned to him that, maybe it's the perspective of, maybe he's currently there, because through our conversation, he was talking about how he had made these major decisions and moves in his life that, were going to be more leading to where he thought that he would be in his purpose, where he should feel he should serve, and where ultimately he'll be. And listening to it kind of got me to be very mindful that, maybe you have thought about that before, about how you're waiting for a time that you can experience happiness, or, if some things fall into place, or once some circumstances change, then you'll be happy. And it got me to think about this question, is that why is it that we always view happiness as a destination that's somewhere off in the present and the future? Why is it that it always feels as though we have to actually make several decisions, or our happiness is tied to circumstance? And what got me just kind of thinking about is that, what I realized is that I believe that we're always making choices. And I think rather than viewing happiness as a destination, what if we were to start to change it to where we think about happiness as being a process, an active process where you have to make decisions. You have to make that honor the things that you're saying important. Now, as we know, we've been talking about goals, aspirations, and non-negotiables. Our goals are the things that we are working towards, or the things that we want to do. We talked about our aspirations as the activities and skills and things in terms of the hopes of who we need to become. And then our non-negotiables are the things that we ultimately don't want to compromise or lose as we're through this life journey. Now, what if we started to adopt? So if we're going to say that happiness is this, active state of being, this active state of progress that's not exactly tied to emotion, but it's something that we're working towards. What if we started to make better decisions that honored the things that we say are important? What if we choose behaviors, attitudes, and emotional states that allow us to be better in line with happiness, but move us towards what we ultimately say are important? So that might sound real meta. It might sound kind of like glossy, but so for example, to give again an example that maybe that I can kind of share it to myself, is that right now I have my happiness is not just tied to me being my goal of me being a doting husband, a devoted dad, just a loving person who I can connect with my children and my wife, and the service to others. But it's also tied to me being healthy, long-term, living a life, being fit. Now, those of you know me, is that ultimately I hate running. I hate cardiovascular fitness, but I know as a healthcare professional, for example, that part of being younger, you should focus on cardiovascular fitness so that can be something that carry you later in life, because there may be a space where I physically can't run or things of that nature. So I kind of hate running. And those who know my past or my history, is I used to run track, and I love track meets. I just hated track practice, right? I hated track practice, but it was something that I knew, again, at least I was working towards something. So right now, I kind of hate running. I really don't like running. I don't like the idea to run to just run. But I've committed to my happiness is tied to the goal of what I have for myself, the aspiration of who I want to become. So I had to make a decision about, okay, my cardiovascular fitness decision is tied to me being able to be happy on the things that I said are my goals, my aspirations, and my non-negotiables, being there for my family, being there for them. So pretty much every day I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, just so you know, I'm not a 5 o'clock kind of person. It's a decision that I've made because it fits my schedule so that I can be committed to something that is tied to my happiness, which is being there for my wife, my girls, the service I have to my students and the people that I love and care about, ultimately long term. So I get up every day at 5 o'clock. I work out and I run on the treadmill to really work on my cardiovascular fitness. So that is just one simple example that maybe I can share with you from my life on how I think that our decisions, our attitudes, our behavior, it helps contribute to the active process of us being happy. Now, ultimately, I do recognize that there are instances where circumstance, situations, and if we're honest with ourselves, people may cause that happiness to waver. And that's not to say that you should be impervious to that. But what I will say is that also having a mental awareness is that certain situations and certain circumstances, and then ultimately certain people may cause you to change your emotional state, and it's being cognizant and recognizing that so that we could either limit those situations or make a better awareness. So with that, what does that mean? That means I know I have to interact with this person that causes a level of emotional change with me that may not necessarily bring me towards happiness. So therefore I can walk into it with a different frame of mind so that I can kind of guard my heart, guard my mind a little bit differently when I have to interact with them. So, hey guys, well, like I said, that's kind of what I have, and just say, like I said, challenge you guys. Let's change our shift from thinking about happiness as a destination that we have to get to, but rather it's an active process that we can participate in every single day. And I challenge you every day to make decisions, create attitudes and behaviors that best align to get you to a state of happiness, that you can choose that every day. That's not far off in the future. When you make a decision for yourself, when you make a decision for self-care, when you make a decision to get you closer to those goals, aspirations, and non-negotiables, you are actively seeking happiness. And again, happiness is a process, it's not a destination. All right, guys, if this helped, comment down below. Give me some feedback. As always, guys, love you much. If you need anything, message me, text me, email me, whatever you need. As always, love you. Talk to you later, guys.